NATO is warning that North Korea sending troops to fight against Ukraine would be a significant escalation.
Aim to boost morale and justify the deployment, as the partnership between Moscow and Pyongyang grows stronger under the Mutual Defense Pact signed last year.
9 missiles at dawn. 40 heavy artillery shells tearing through drone hubs and fuel stores. At 3:46, silence gave way to a battlefield lit by fire on the Luhansk perimeter. North Korea tried to blind Ukraine before the fight even began. But the question is, what happens when a preemptive strike meant to kill your eyes instead sharpens your reflexes? Stay with this story, because what followed changed the tempo of the entire war zone. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great! Thank you so much. Now, back to the video. 187 tanks. That steel column, painted in North Korean markings, rolled south thinking the field ahead was theirs.
And it's like they're sending the North Korean troops into a wood chipper. They're all coming back in caskets, but it doesn't seem to matter.
But something was waiting, hidden in fog, already charting their path before the first shell struck. The opening moves weren't random chaos. Ballistic missiles arrived first, arcs of fire designed to slam not into soldiers in trenches but into nerve centers that kept the defense awake. Fuel depots flashed in the dark. Drone hubs, those cheap but deadly airborne scouts, went silent under strikes meant to cripple the eyes of the battlefield. The tanks that followed expected to advance through blinded lines, with no circling drones and no quick artillery calls to halt them. But what makes this strike different is its aim. To anyone looking only at the tanks, it seemed like armor once again leading the charge. The real target was invisible: Ukraine's sensor web, the radars, data links, and observers that wove a digital net through the night.
Ukraine's President Zelensky mentioned possible North Korean involvement when he met European leaders yesterday.
Cut that mesh, and every defending crew becomes deaf, blind, and slow. Keep it intact, and the attackers drive into crosshairs already waiting for them. Before those first impacts, screens on Ukraine's radar feeds lit up.
Instead, Moscow is tightening its wartime alliance with Pyongyang. Kim sending troops and artillery, Putin sending money and missile technology.
Night sensors caught faint movement to the north, a long line of steel, grinding gears against wet soil, masked by fog but glowing in radar trace. Even as the first striking rounds came down on fuel storage, operators already knew armor was inbound. Seconds mattered, and those seconds were not wasted. This was no single strike. It was a full-spectrum attack, layered across domains.
To hide the fact that North Korean soldiers were fighting in Ukraine or fighting in Russia in the Kursk Oblast on behalf of Russia against Ukrainian forces.
Missiles detonated over supply lines. Artillery batteries shook the ground with sustained barrages. Tank groups pressed from the north. And above it all, electronic interference blanketed command frequencies, trying to choke off the ability to call targets or maneuver reinforcements.
NATO is warning that North Korea sending troops to fight against Ukraine would be a significant escalation.
It was a textbook attempt at paralyzing decision-making in minutes. Yet Ukraine had prepared for that kind of storm. Bayraktar TB2 drones scrambled low, hugging treetops, not staying long enough on any frequency to be jammed. They shot off brief bursts of data, just enough to mark artillery launches and pinpoint armored columns, then ducked silent again. Each transmission was a slice of the bigger picture. Stitch them together, and the defense still saw clearly enough to fight back.
To Russian territory last year, officials say thousands of those North Korean fighters were either killed or wounded.
North Korea has sent soldiers to support Russia in its war against Ukraine.
Meanwhile, BMP-2 fighting vehicles ground forward out of concealed lots. They were not chasing the hulking tanks, though. Instead, they aimed their Stugna-guided rockets toward the artillery that had just emptied its barrels. Crews fired as the batteries reloaded, punishing each pause in the enemy rhythm. It was calculated discipline. Don't waste rockets on the heavy front roll when you can strip away the guns that keep those tanks covered.
aim to boost morale and justify the deployment, as the partnership between Moscow and Pyongyang grows stronger under the Mutual Defense Pact signed last year.
By now, the sky was still streaked from incoming barrages. Missiles in the higher air, tank units carving routes below, drones weaving through jamming like mosquitoes in static. The picture was meant to feel like an ambush sprung perfectly by the attackers. To almost any observer, the defenders should have been cornered, immobile, ready to be finished by steel on the move. But then comes the turn. Instead of chaos, the defenders' timing sharpened. The so-called kill zone meant for Ukraine became one for the advancing tanks. Locked positions stayed hidden while artillery crews took hits.
Admitted for the first time it had deployed soldiers to the conflict. It said it helped, in its words, to liberate the Russian region of Kursk.
Russia is providing missile technology to the North Koreans, and North Korea is now gaining battlefield experience.
Drone feeds kept coordinates alive. Every stride forward by the armored line happened without clarity of what waited ahead. They were driving blind, and every meter deeper carried them further into that trap. So the armored spear that was supposed to punch open the line found itself dulled in the fog, stumbling toward sites already locked and launchers already prepared.
Pyongyang is sending up to 30,000 more troops to bolster Russian forces along the front lines. North Korea initially sent some 11,000 troops.
The duel was never about two sets of tanks colliding face-to-face in flat fields. It was about perception. About who could see, who could strike faster, and who adapted under the weight of electronic pressure. In that balance, the power shifted. And the story of the 187 tanks was no longer about how fast they moved, but how clearly or how poorly their crews could understand the battlefield they had just entered.
We've had reports, Matthew, for many months now of North Korea's intensifying participation in this war.
This fight was never steel against steel. It was sensors, networks, and the ability to keep vision when the other side tried to cut it away. The Luhansk front showed how drones, jamming, and artillery loops decided movement more than tank armor ever could.
President Putin said Russia would never forget the North Koreans who lost their lives paying tribute to what he called their heroism.
He said their actions demonstrated the fighting spirit of the heroes during the operation to retake the area from Ukrainian forces.
The question is simple. When armored columns roll under hostile skies, are they still weapons or just targets in a digital crossfire of drones and data links? Comment your choice below. Subscribe and join a community that seeks to understand the realities of modern conflict, where awareness, not armor, separates survival from destruction.